Hi everyone, so I've got a few new additions to my Daniel Smith watercolors, which I'm really excited about, and I just filmed a video about swatching them out, and I felt like playing with either these two, just keep it very basic, or these three, because they work really well together in my journal. So I've got this page open here, which I've done a video on, and it's one of those situations when I absolutely love a page and the other page has to go with it, because otherwise it will, clash. So I don't want it to clash, I want it to work well, and the three colors here look very well together. So the idea is that I want to paint a face, and I'm contemplating whether I should first apply like a background and then start the face on top with additional colors on top, or whether I just should, I think I actually will go with that idea. So here we go. I've got these swatches here, so I might as well start using them. So this is the, let me actually first of all go into this one. So this is the Lunar Blue. I'm so surprised that it's not like a genuine color, because it's just so interesting, very interesting color. So you start off kind of thinking, well, that looks nice and gray, and then it will surprise you once you add water and give it some time to do some gorgeousness. It just separates. Look, it's starting already to do that. So it starts off grey and then goes into this. So what I'm trying to do is just do kind of a few swatches, but what I want is, I don't want it to be too dark in the middle, so I'm trying to keep it lighter in the middle and then darker around the edges. And the other thing I'll do, I'll also add some Sodalite Genuine in some areas where I want it to be a little bit more darker. So while the paint is still wet, and something like that. So that should be enough. And I just spotted there is a little bit of this. So I might correct it by letting the paint flow in. And I think that should be it in terms of my background. I will go ahead and dry it quickly. Okay, so now everything is dry and you can see the separation of the blue, the grays. It looks quite interesting. And that's what it looks like. And then now I'm going to start sort of illustrating a face. But I'm just trying to think, what did I do here? Oh no, I used a different pen for this illustration, and it seems a lot thinner lines. There's some inks that will look a lot thicker. Yeah, that's it. So the Muji pen, when you apply it to watercolored paper rather than just to paper. So if I used this pen on paper, the line would have been a lot thinner. Then something happens when the watercolor is on there, even when it's completely dry, that the line becomes a lot wider. So this Muji pen is great for that, because we are then just I'm trying to think what to do with her headpiece, because it's just better to do it that way. Lost the track of thoughts there. So let's go ahead with a neck, and I think today I will create some sort of lines. I am so sorry that it was off camera today. It feels a little bit weird filming. It's one of those days when I have a lot going on my mind, yet I want to do something creative in my studio and share that process with you. Okay, so I think I'm starting again to do too much detail, so I'm going to move ahead to the hair part and try to figure out how I want to do this now. So this is the hair. Okay, I'm just going to do some sort of ears there and move on to the face part. So this is a water soluble ink, so you need to keep that in mind. So the lines will definitely move, but there's a little trick I tend to do if I want to keep some lines, which is on top of it I may use another ink pen that is water soluble. Now I'm going to go for a dreamy eye, so I'm going to cut through the eye, which makes it look half closed, half open, and then as usual big eyes. Just a nice simple straight brow like so. I do want a chalker here, so I'll do that in another ink. I think this is as much detail as I'd like here. Another ear probably is better. Okay, so I will leave it nice and big forehead. Not sure about the ear situation here, what's going on. Okay, I'm going to just draw these bits in. Looks a little bit more like an ear. And then with this pen, which is my favorite ink for illustrating, I'm going to go in. I will leave all the links below. This is the, I keep forgetting, the Sailor Fude De Mannen. So I'm just accentuating some of these lines and details. I'm just checking now that you can see. And I'm not going to do it everywhere. But in fact, this to me looks more interesting than just a made-up line. So I'm going to... Feels like the ink is running out. This pen does run out really quickly, and the reason being is because you can deposit a lot of ink in one go when you do the thick line. So when you lay it like flat on the nib as opposed to on the tip. And what else would I do? Maybe I do want to play with the watercolors here, so I'm not sure I would like to. Okay, I'm going to also put it on her lid, like that. And a winged eyeliner, of course. So this is about it in terms of inks. So next thing to do, before I go in with the watercolors, I would want to just make it move a little. Being very cautious with this particular ink because it does move a lot. So if you want to completely blur lines, you can do it really well with this ink. So be very cautious where you go over with water, basically. Because I'm just creating a little shadow on the side like that. I think this is pretty much it, and the rest I will do possibly with watercolor, a little bit under her eye, but very quickly because the ink sets quickly. So that's it. So a little bit moved into here. So the rest I will do with watercolors, so stay tuned. Okay, so yeah, like I was saying, when it becomes a little bit too detailed, when I was drawing her top part of her dress, then the easiest thing for me is to just grab the Sailor fountain pen and just go over some lines, separate the thick lines from the fine lines, and then on top use water to kind of even blend it out a little bit more, and it becomes really interesting looking. So now I have the face to work on and the ears, so I'm going to use the Sodalite Genuine for some of the parts of the ears. So I'm going to go on top. Now remember that this part now, the watercolor underneath the background, is already dry. So that's important to keep that. Okay, so I had to stop because I realized both of my memory cards were completely full because I've been filming a lot of videos, and that means that this color has now dried up a little, so it's not going to flow as well, but it's okay. So basically we're going back into the ear part here, and I'm just going to play around and see where I want the darkest part of it, like that, and then where I want it to wash out a little towards the end. Actually looks quite nice here with a bit of a background. Okay, I'm going to leave a little highlight there. So at the minute we have that Sodalite working quite well. I might add it a touch underneath her eye. Because it's a watercolor, I might have a bit more time to work with it rather than the ink, and just make it a little bit more darker. And I'll just dab it off a little. So that's it. And then in terms of her face, I think I'll just blend that bit of the ink from the actual pen. And now I'm going to go into her, actually her eyes, they need a bit of work as well. So again, Sodalite, and just on the very corner. And then just blending it out a little bit, like so. That's all I like to do. Don't like to color the whole eye in. Now the Potter's Pink I'm very excited about because it's beautiful color for this color scheme. Very muted, but gorgeous for like a bit of a lip and a cheek situation. And it's very granulating, so that makes it quite rather special. So all these colors, they're working together, they're not clashing, which is very nice. And I'll just add a bit more water to get it going. And the lip needs a bit more, so I'm just going to fill it in and leave a little highlight there right in the middle. And see if I can darken it up just on one side, see what happens there. Okay, I think this is it. I don't want any more. I quite like this illustration here. I think she's got quite a nice character, and it seems to be quite sort of dramatic. So I'm going to actually add a little touch of something here, just to layer it on top of the ink, which makes it quite a bit more interesting, really. I want to layer it elsewhere, but I'm not sure where. Maybe here. So that's the three colors together, the Lunar Blue, which was for the background, the Sodalite Genuine, and the Potter's Pink. Very, very pretty. Let me actually go ahead and dry the lips just to see whether they would, the granulation would come through a bit better. As I was drying it, I actually realized that I forgot to do the ears, and the granulation did come through in the lips here. So that's quite nice. So I'm just going to take that bit of Potter's Green, Potter's Pink, I'm not sure why I said Potter's Green, and just touch it into the corners. Now, when you dry watercolors in between, that means you will stop them from blending and you'll have a more kind of clear line, but here the watercolor was still a little bit wet, so it flew and mixed, and sometimes those accidents can be quite interesting. But you can control watercolors if you want to stop them from going into one another, which is drying them. So that's it. That is my illustration. The paper buckled quite a bit because I was adding quite a few different layers of water. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It's quite interesting, dark colors, and the color scheme is quite appealing to me at the moment. So, and then let me show you what it looks like next to the page. It's not clashing whatsoever. It actually looks really interesting. Yeah, I love it. So let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Oh yes, before I go, I wanted to say something, which is thanks so much for all of your support, and I haven't had an opportunity to say thank you for the 5,000 subscribers. I had this goal for the 5K towards the end of the year, but we got there a lot sooner, so I still got quite a few months, and who knows, it might be actually 6K by the end of the year. So your support means a lot to me. I love your comments, and I try to make sure I take time out to respond to your comments, and for sure I read them. Not always can I respond straight away, but I do read them, and yeah, it's just been such a fun journey this year. Building this channel and actually realizing what I love doing and what I don't, and you know, it's been kind of like a journey we took together, me sharing the process of sort of improving certain things, and I want you to also improve your art and learn along with me, and that's essentially what it is. So again, thank you so much for being my followers, subscribers, and participating and commenting and all of that good stuff, and of course using my affiliate links to the products that I use, and that means that I can go ahead and, you know, buy these watercolors, all 5 I bought from your support, and I've done a lot of shopping now this way, and yeah, and that means I can take my art further and share it with you again, and it's like a beautiful circle of art that just keeps on, you know, giving more, and I enjoy it. So thank you so much. Thanks for being with me throughout, and to more artsy stuff coming. So yeah, have a lovely day and see you soon. Mace, do you want to say see you soon? See you soon. Good boy.